In the dead of a Siberian winter, a woman climbed into bed and pulled the covers up next to a black leopard. Not a stuffed animal, not a dream. An actual leopard, warm, breathing, with claws that could open a car door and eyes that glowed gold in the dark. Her neighbors had opinions about this, but every morning, Luna would cross the bedroom floor and launch herself onto the bed with the casual confidence of someone who pays rent. No hesitation, no growling. Just 80 pounds of wild cat burrowing under the duvet like she'd always lived there. And the strangest part? She had chosen this. Every single day, she chose the woman who pulled her back from the edge of death and the big dopey Rottweiler who accidentally taught her what love looks like. This is their story. And it doesn't start anywhere warm. A zoo in Siberia. A black leopard cub arrives in the world, dark as a shadow, small enough to hold in two hands. Her parents want nothing to do with her. Nobody knows exactly why captivity does strange things to animals. Rewires instincts that took millennia to build. But the reason doesn't really matter when you're watching a newborn cub get weaker by the hour. By the time the keepers understood what was happening, Luna was in serious trouble. Not, she needs extra attention trouble. The other kind. The kind where vets go quiet and look at each other before they speak. She needed to get out of that zoo. Fast. The call went out to someone with experience handling big cats, not a hobbyist, not someone who watched too many wildlife documentaries, but someone who actually knew what they were doing. That person was Victoria. She drove there herself. She brought Luna home in her arms. What she carried through her front door that day wasn't really a leopard yet. It was a trembling scrap of black fur making a sound that was less roar and more "please don't leave me." Victoria set up around-the-clock feedings, vitamin-rich milk, body heat. She slept nearby so Luna wouldn't wake up alone in the dark and believe, even for a second, that she'd been abandoned again. It was exhausting, grinding, relentless care. It worked. 2 weeks in, Luna started eating like she meant it. Then she started lifting her head to look around. Then came the thing Victoria had been waiting for, that specific shift in a young animal's eyes when fear starts giving way to curiosity. And then Benza walked in. Benza was a Rottweiler built like a small couch. Broad chest, massive paws, the kind of dog that makes strangers cross the street until they see his face, which is approximately the friendliest face that has ever existed on a living creature. Victoria introduced them the way you'd introduce a spark to a room full of antiques. Carefully, slowly, ready to intervene. Luna saw him and went straight up, top of the nearest cabinet, flattened against the wall, staring down at this enormous thing that had just materialized in her living room. Benza sat on the floor and looked up at her. He didn't bark, he didn't pace. He just looked at her with those big, steady eyes and waited, his tail doing a slow, patient sweep across the floor. Luna stared. Benza waited. A minute passed, then 5. Then one small black paw crept over the edge of the cabinet. What followed was several weeks of pure chaos. And it was wonderful. They tore through the house together. They wrestled until they were both panting and someone's water bowl was on its side. They fell asleep in a heap that looked, from any angle, deeply improbable leopard and Rottweiler, limbs tangled, completely unbothered. Luna was still figuring out her body. She hadn't learned yet that claws need to be managed around friends, that bite pressure matters. When she got too rough, Benza would make a sharp sound, not aggressive, just firm. A correction. Luna stopped, looked at him, adjusted. She did this every single time. She was essentially being parented by a dog, and she was paying full attention. Softer grip. Read his signals. Know when enough is enough. Victoria watched this happen and felt something she couldn't quite name. This mix of wonder and warmth at watching a wild animal learn gentleness from an animal that had it in abundance. Victoria had kept Luna alive. Benza was teaching her how to actually be alive. Here's the part that stops people cold when they first hear it. Luna, apex predator, built for silence and solitude, and the hunt started acting like Benza. Not a little, not occasionally, consistently. She waited at the door when Victoria came home. She walked alongside Benza on their outings, tail up, checking back over her shoulder to make sure the group stayed together exactly the way dogs do. She pushed her head into people's hands. She pressed her whole body against whoever was nearby, not because she wanted something, but because she wanted to be close. When snow fell, she didn't stay inside. She ran out first. There's a specific kind of logic to this, if you think about it. Luna had never known the wild. She'd never had a leopard mother to model herself on. What she had was Victoria and Benza and a warm house and 2 years of being loved without conditions. She looked around at her world, made her assessment, and decided, this is what I am. The leopard chose the dog life. She went all in. David came later, Victoria's boyfriend, the final piece of this particular household, who met Luna and was promptly adopted whether he wanted to be or not. Together, he and Victoria made a decision. The apartment wasn't enough anymore. They bought land out in the countryside, away from neighbors who had concerns, with fields that went on, and a forest at the edge where no one would bother a leopard climbing trees at full speed. Luna loved it immediately. She was extraordinary out there. Watching her move through open space full speed, total freedom, Benza crashing through the snow somewhere behind her, you forgot entirely that this animal had once been too small and sick to lift her head. She climbed trees the way water runs downhill. Effortless. Natural. Right. In the evenings they'd come in from the cold, both animals muddy and tired, and completely satisfied. Victoria would brush the tangles out of their fur while they leaned into it. Before sleep, Luna always found David. She'd press her head against his chest and close her eyes, and that purr would start up low and resonant, the kind of sound you feel more than hear. For a while, no one talked. The snow came down outside. Everything was exactly where it was supposed to be. Victoria still pauses sometimes when she watches them out in the fields. She thinks about that first night, the frail cub, the desperate feedings, not knowing if any of it would be enough. She thinks about the phone call from the zoo that she almost didn't take. Luna is bounding through a snowdrift. Benza is thundering after her, ears flying. She more than made it. The black leopard, who was never supposed to survive, found the one thing she wasn't born with, a family, and she held on with both paws. She's not letting go.